Random House Audio presents The First Billion is the Hardest, Reflections on a Life of Comebacks and America's Energy Future, by T. Boone Pickens. Read for you by Arthur Morey. There's nothing better than being the underdog. The more people count me out, the more I count myself in. I don't like to show all my cards too early, and that gives me two distinct advantages. My opponents often get the wrong read on me, and I push myself longer and harder. When it looks like you should pack it in, but you still dig in anyway, you also pick up a lot of support. Everybody loves an underdog. Throughout my career, being the guy who isn't favored to win has earned me a devoted following, a loyal core of supporters that ranges from shareholder activists to people who admire my grit. It's also spurred me to exceed everyone's expectations, on the athletic field, in the oil business, and in taking on Wall Street. Yet in 1996, when I faced my toughest challenges ever, my dauber was down, as the saying goes. I just wasn't carrying around that self-belief that usually has me doubling my focus when things look grim. I'd departed Mesa Petroleum, the company I'd founded and led through 4 decades. My marriage was ending in a nasty divorce. My assets seemed to be dwindling daily. And no one was more surprised than I was when a doctor diagnosed me as clinically depressed. At 68, I was well past the official age of retirement, and financially I was at a point where most people would be happy to call it quits. Not this cowboy, though. I had a clear goal for my new company, BP Capital, to become a leading commodities fund. Let me fast forward a decade. Last year, Forbes pegged my net worth at $3 billion. My new bride has captivated me, and my health has never been better. Together, these have been my greatest comebacks, and believe me, my life has not lacked for comebacks. I hope that with this book I can inspire the millions of Americans who, like me, are entering the 4th quarter. Specifically, I want them to know what I've learned at 80. The best part of the game truly lies ahead. I'm playing this last period as hard as a walk-on freshman who's just gotten into his first game. I'm also having more fun than I've ever had. I've entered a period of life where I not only value the importance of work, but also have a renewed appreciation for my family and endeavor to build the best relationships I possibly can. The time I spend with my children and my grandchildren I enjoy more than ever. Besides inspiring others who've been counted out for whatever reason, what else do I hope to accomplish with this book? 3 things. First, I want to reveal the managerial and team-building techniques that have enabled me, especially recently, to enjoy an unprecedented level of success. Second, I want to demonstrate that money can be overrated, but it can also be a precious gift when used unselfishly. If you're interested in hearing how one grateful Texan managed to give $700 million to the causes he loves, stick around. Third, and perhaps most important, I plan to dispel some of the many myths about the oil and gas industry. I've been in this business for over half a century, and I've heard more than my share of stupid ideas. These are the worst. Myth number 1. Drilling in the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge will make us energy independent. Myth number 2. Ethanol will save the day. Myth number 3. Big oil is manipulating the price of gas at the pumps. Myth number 4. The lack of new refineries in the United States is a main contributor to high gasoline prices. Myth number 5. New technology will enable us to discover enormous untapped reservoirs of oil. All these fallacies do is perpetuate misinformation and prevent us from developing an effective national energy plan. Our country is facing a crisis. I fear we have some very dark days ahead, and we must do something about it. I love this country too much to remain silent about the way America's political leadership has failed to tackle what I believe is one of the greatest threats ever to face this nation, our crippling dependence on foreign oil. In this book, I don't just identify the problem, I offer answers. Our biggest problem is leadership. For decades, we've lacked the leadership at the federal level to address our growing dependence on foreign oil. We've all heard the empty promises and seen the results of shallow policies. Elect me president and America will become energy independent. Every candidate says it, and once they're elected, no one does a thing about it. The cost of our failure to secure this vital lifeline is staggering. By importing foreign oil to meet our ever-increasing demands, the United States is transferring close to $1 trillion a year, assuming a price of $150 per barrel, to foreign nations that, with few exceptions, don't really like us. It's the greatest transfer of wealth in human history, and it has to be stopped now. We need a plan to radically reduce our dependence on foreign oil, and we need leadership able to carry it out. Otherwise, we risk losing our status as a superpower. I'll outline my national energy plan here. Is it perfect? No. Is it a realistic start? You bet. And it's time to get serious and begin working on it. I believe our oil addiction is the greatest threat facing America in the 21st century. I also believe that, as with all crises our country has faced, determination and ingenuity can yield the solutions we seek. I hope you enjoy this book and take to heart its most important messages. Most crucially, I hope you get involved in the campaign to address the crisis of foreign oil imports. I've spent more than a year working on this book, and my goal was not just to create an interesting read. It was to issue a wake-up call to every American who cares as much about this country as I do. Booneism number 1. Don't rush the monkey, and you'll see a better show. Risk has always been a part of my life. I'm not sure whether I'm drawn to it or it's drawn to me. But at every point in my 80 years, I've been faced with a challenge, and in just about every instance, I've taken it. Even my birth was a do-or-die proposition. My mother went into labor on May 21st, 1928. It was a long ordeal, and things weren't going well. The doctor, George Wallace, took my father, Tom, into a small room and closed the door. He had a grave look on his face, and my father immediately spotted a large book on a table. He assumed it was a Bible. "Your wife has been in labor a long time and she can't deliver. I'm worried about her. You can save your wife or your baby, but not both," Dr. Wallace said. My father wasn't an either-or sort of guy. He was a natural-born risk-taker and the son of a Methodist preacher. He pleaded with the doctor to try the first cesarean section in that hospital's history. "Well, Tom, I've heard about a C-section, but I've never done one," the doctor said. He pointed to the book on the table. "All I've got is a page and a half and one picture in that medical book to go by." "We're going to pray, and you're going to deliver the baby," my father told him. A short time later, Dr. Wallace came out of the operating room with a broad smile on his face. He had just performed his first cesarean. I've always thought I was the luckiest man alive, and right from the start, I proved it. "You got a little boy," Dr. Wallace told my father, "and your wife is doing fine." The sign read, "Welcome to Holdenville, where the pavement ends, the West begins, and the Rock Island crosses the Frisco." And that, sports fans, was Holdenville, a railroad town in eastern Oklahoma, a speck in the grand sweep of the Great Plains, where the open land was vast, rolling, and endless. My father was in the oil business. Outgoing, generous, a great storyteller, and a gifted poker player, he arrived in Holdenville at age 25. He was a lawyer, but soon realized that law was nowhere near as exciting as oil. So he became an independent landman, convincing landowners to lease him their mineral rights, which he, in turn, sold to oil companies. I was an only child, but I was always surrounded by family who lived next door. My grandmother, Nellie Melanson, my widowed aunt Ethel Reed, and my cousin Billy Bob, who was like an older brother to me. My parents were hard-working, thrifty, honest.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?